I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So we continue with Isaiah. This is chapter 42. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. Isaiah speaks messianically. The Lord shall bring his law and his judgment, be a light to the Gentiles and free the prisoners. Praise ye the Lord. Behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect, in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail, nor discourage, till he have set judgment in the earth, and the isles shall wait for his law. Thus saith God the Lord, He that created the heavens, and stretched them out, He that spread forth the earth, and that which cometh out of it, He that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise from the end of the earth. Ye that go down to the sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. Let the wilderness and the cities thereof lift up their voice, the villages that Kedar doth inhabit. Let the inhabitants of the rocks sing, let them shout from the top of the mountains. Let them give glory unto the Lord, and declare his praise in the islands. The Lord shall go forth as a mighty man, he shall stir up jealousy, like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holden my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills, and dry up all their herbs. I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools. And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, Ye are our gods. Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake, and he will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, Restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? He against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. Again, Isaiah can be very confusing in the details, but there's a few basic ideas that we can get from this. So first of all, when Christ comes the first time, he will not damage anything. He will not do any harm. He will keep silent. He will not lift up his voice. It says he will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoking flax. The weakest are going to be safe from him. Everybody's safe the first time. But people are looking for him. And whenever we read that phrase, where is it again? And the isles shall wait for his law. That's verse 4. And it talks about the isles a lot in Isaiah. We can generally assume that whenever we talk about the isles, especially if it says the isles of the sea, this is talking about the Americas. It is talking about those, so we have the mainland of the old world. Everything else is the isles of the sea. So Europe, Africa, Asia, that's the mainland. Everything else is the isles. When he talks about the isles of the sea, we're talking about the Nephites. So when it says, and the isles shall wait for his law, it is saying the Nephites, or the people living in the isles of the sea, know of Christ, and they are waiting for his coming. They are waiting in anticipation for it, just as much as everybody else. He is a God of everybody, not just the Jews, not just the Middle East. Now, when it says he's going to pour out judgment, that's generally talking about the second coming. So the first time he comes, he's not going to harm anybody. Second time he comes, he's pouring out judgment. Make waste the mountains and hills and dry up the herbs, dry up the pools. Oh, and also verse 9, that's in, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. That's the restoration. The old is gone. Well, the two different. When Christ comes the first time, he restores the gospel, and then there was the restoration in these last days. Both of them are being alluded to here. Again, also, we have bring out prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. This is the salvation for the dead, that Christ will open up this work for the dead to redeem them. All of this is being alluded to in this chapter. And the ending of that is Jacob, Israel has been a prey and a spoil, but who? Who will let them be a prey and a spoil? Well, that was God, because they rebelled against him. But now we're going to bring them back. We're going to reclaim them. They have been a prey and a spoil because they were rebellious. Now we're bringing them back. So that's what this chapter is all about. And it's a great chapter. But now we do have a Joseph Smith translation here in chapter 41. So let's read this. This is verses 19 through 25. Wow, all of those. So let's reread this in the King James. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law, and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are of them snared in holes. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? He against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to his heart. So this is the last portion of the chapter. Let us read Joseph Smith's corrections here. This is how Joseph Smith renders it. And verse 19 makes absolutely no sense. I'll just say that first of all. Who is blind but my servant? Now the servant mentioned in verse 1, that is Christ. And I was saying, who's blind but he that is perfect? This is saying Christ is blind. It makes absolutely no sense. Yes, you can kind of finagle a logical interpretation out of it, but the wording itself is illogical. So, here's Joseph Smith's correction. For I will send my servant unto you who are blind, yea, a messenger to open the eyes of the blind and unstop the ears of the deaf, and they shall be made perfect, notwithstanding their blindness, if they will hearken unto the messenger, the Lord's servant. Thou art a people, seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears to hear, but thou hearest not. The Lord is not well pleased with such a people, but for his righteousness' sake he will magnify the law and make it honorable. Thou art a people robbed and spoiled. Thine enemies, all of them, have snared thee in holes, and they have hid thee in prison houses. They have taken thee for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. Who among them will give ear unto thee, or hearken and hear thee for the time to come? And who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom they have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon them the fury of his anger, and the strength of battle, and they have set them on fire round about. Yet they knew not, and it burned them, yet they laid it not to heart. So with this change, what are we talking about? This is a very profound change to the meaning, quite honestly. Or maybe it's more appropriate to say it's a very profound clarification of the meaning. I will send my messenger. He doesn't say, no, take note of that. Take note of that. I will send I will send my servant unto you, yea, a messenger. This is Joseph Smith. This is the restoration. This is God saying, yes, you are all in prison. You have been given over to robbers and spoils, but I am going to send you a messenger. I am going to raise up a new prophet, and he will teach you the truth. He will reestablish the law, make it honorable once again. Remember that you are in prison because you rebelled against me. I'm the one that put you in prison. It wasn't the Jews, it wasn't the Babylonians, it wasn't the Romans, it wasn't anybody but me. You rebelled against me, I turned you over to the robbers and they spoiled you. Turn back to me, listen to my messenger, and you will be restored. That is a profound change, a profound correction. And we will leave that here. See you in the next one.